Hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021. I'm telling you, that's just like the perfect professional way to start off a video, isn't it? So everybody, welcome. I'm glad you're all here. I'm going to try to get in just a quick video today. But anyway, my name is Shelly, and this is my channel, Proverbs 31:22, where I share about cross-stitch and quilting, mostly some life updates. Today I've got an FFO, 3 FOs, 3 whips, and then the quilt on the wall behind me, a little bit of news, what I've been watching, reading, a little bit of plans, and life update. So let's start with life update real quick. So my husband's been not feeling too great the last, over the weekend. Thankfully, he had, yesterday off to kind of recuperate. Just sort of allergies, kicking up, and, that kind of stuff. The cough that goes along with it, and congestion in the head, and all that kind of stuff. So, we did go to my older daughter and her son's home over the weekend, spent some time with them. Since we had missed the baby shower of the baby that I was making the quilt for, that was on the wall behind me the last few videos, I did bring that with me to Kim and Dwayne's because his sister was coming over, and so we gifted that to them there. So the quilt on the wall behind me is for Kim and Dwayne's other sibling. His wife is having a baby, which is a little boy. And so the last couple of days I've gotten that top put together. And I was thinking at first that I was going to have to go and buy fabric. I'm really trying to not buy anything right now. My husband's got some dental work that he needs done, and money's just really tight. And so, and speaking of that, money's really tight. So, I shared last time about my husband calling the wrong air conditioner repairman. So we had $75 out on that. That was unnecessary. And then last week when I was paying bills, I go to my bank account and I see this Amazon charge, for $68.01. And so I have an Amazon store card that, we buy stuff and then I pay it off. So it didn't really, the amount just didn't seem right. And so I went and looked at my store card account, and it was like, this payment's not showing up. So like, what is this for? So I go to my orders. It's like, I don't usually order stuff on my debit card. So, but I checked anyway, nothing there. So, called the bank, said, is this, wanted to make sure it was Amazon. They said, yes, it is. You have to call them to find out what it is. So long story short, I call Amazon, and someone made an order, used my debit card to make that order. And, she's asking me like, what's your husband's name? I was like, my husband's name is Michael, but anytime he needs something ordered, he texts it to me and says, hey, order this next time you order something. So he wouldn't have gone to my wallet and gotten my debit card anyway. And she's like, I can't really tell you, I can't tell you the name on the order. It has shipped out, so there's nothing we can do on our end. You'll have to dispute it with your bank. However, I can tell you that it is scheduled to be delivered to Rogersville, Alabama today. Well, that's where I live. So, it's like, okay, so I call the bank, I dispute it, we got to go through all that process. And, I don't have any doubt that they're going to refund the money. I just didn't really have the money right now to spend on that, And so later that afternoon, my husband's comes in and he's like, look what just got delivered. And so it was to some guy named Denny Ezekiel, and Ezekiel was spelled like a really weird way. Swanson? To our address. So, I called Amazon. I was like, at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep the stuff. And then I was like, I can't do that. So I just, called them, and the guy that I talked to says, okay, we can do, have UPS pick up, the package. So you don't have to worry about bringing it anywhere or anything. We'll do a return on it. So he sends me, the information on that call, and he was returning something that I had actually ordered and it come in, recently. So I had to call back again and talk to someone else, and she was like, no, we don't, if you didn't order it and it's, an error or a fraud, we don't do returns on that, and you'll just, you keep it, you throw it away, you do whatever you want with it. So I was like, Christmas presents. So anyway, don't have the money to spend on that right now. I don't have money to spend on a lot of stuff right now. And so when I was making that quilt, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to go get border fabric. Because, I looked in my stash and I really didn't have anything readily visible. And then I remembered that, the quilt that I'm making for my daughter right now, it has like a dark gray background, kind of a mid-gray background. And so I, thought I can use that. So I go to the little container that I have all of that stuff in, all the scraps and everything. And there was this fabric, which is what I used on the back of hers, which is just a gray Moda Grunge. And so I really like the way, I'm trying to get it where you can see it, really like the way that looks together. So this will be the borders. I think this will probably be the back, or this might be the back, I'm not sure. And then, one back and binding, one or the other. So yay, I don't have to buy anything for that, so I'm excited. So, what else has been going on? So, I'm doing this video, and I really need to leave in about, I need to leave in about 20 minutes to go to my follow-up appointment with the rheumatologist. Now, I've been, anxiously awaiting this day to come so I can go and find out the results of my test, right? Well, today I'm like anxiously dreading going and getting the results of my testing. So I think I'm doing this as a way of avoiding leaving for that appointment, I mean, I'm going to go to it, but it's just sort of like I'm procrastinating, I guess. So, life-wise, that's about it, I think. We've been watching in the evenings when we were eating supper. We've been watching the Andy Griffith Show, and so we basically started at like season 1 and started watching it. And yes, I know it's old-fashioned, it's hokey, all those kind of things. I absolutely love it. We laugh so hard when we're watching it. And just those simple times and Andy's, homespun wisdom and, Barney's shenanigans and little Opie, how cute he is. And so that's something that we've been watching. I've also been still watching Heartland. I started watching something yesterday on BritBox called Grace. It's like a modern day police type British, show. I love those. So if you're, new here, you don't know that I like Regency romances. If you're, an oldie around here, you know that I like those. And so, have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. And so whenever it suggests things to me, I'll go and check out these books. And so I just finished reading 2 books ago. I'm on the third one since I've read that one. It's called Home to Kimberly, and I'll link it below. Sorry, I forgot to write down the author. But It's a Pride and Prejudice variation. Now, people who are purists, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen and Austen fans, you might not like it. I don't mind the variations. I like to get a little bit more, a little bit more story on the characters. This book was so good. There's a scene in this book where, Elizabeth and her aunt and uncle end up, no, it's not her aunt and uncle. She's staying with the family and they know Darcy. And they, the mom's like thinking of Darcy for her niece, it's the aunt. And so, she contrives to go and, get herself invited to stay. Well, Darcy's not there and they don't think he's coming back. So, of course, Elizabeth's like, panicked because, she doesn't feel like she should be in his home, right? And so, anyway, in the middle of the night, she can't sleep. She goes down to a book room that she was told about on a previous visit there. And Darcy's in there. He comes home unexpectedly and he's in there. That scene, you guys, I was like bawling like a baby. There's just that one scene. There was so much like angst and yearning and longing. You could just feel it coming off the page. I absolutely loved it. I've never written to an author before, but I really need to write to her and tell her how much just that book, how much I enjoyed the book and how much that one scene just affected me and just grabbed me by the heart so strong. So I will link it below for sure and you can go check it out. Okay, so after my last video, I got, this wild and crazy thing about counting stitches, thinking that I might want to start doing that. And so I got it in my head that I was going to make an Excel spreadsheet. Well, if you're around for a while, you know that I've struggled with learning Excel and using it and everything. So, it was a lot of hair pulling, some cursing, and, slamming fists on the table and, just like, frustration. But I finally got my Excel spreadsheet made. So, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. So I have this sheet made. And so far in the month of September, I have made 1,826 stitches in the different projects that I'm working on. Let's see if we can sneak up on it and get it to act right. So these are all my whips, and then across the top is the days of the month. And then at the end of, each month, has its own sheet in that workbook. And then there's a sheet at the very end of it that will total up yearly. So that's interesting to me. It's just, interesting to know how many stitches I did. And we'll see how that goes. So that was not a lot of fun, but I got it done. So I'm proud of myself that I got that done. So just wanted to share that. Okay, so, all right. I did, my FFO is the little September calendar piece. And this is from CrossStitcher magazine from this January 2021. I would say this is, not my most favorite finish, but I did what I had on hand and got it done. So I was planning on doing it, like at the end of this month when I had some days where I wasn't stitching anything. But I was able to, since I got finished with something else at the end of last month and had time, I went ahead and finished stitching this up. Most of these flosses are Cosmo. There's one, like the roof and the windows is a thrifted floss. And that, I think, was also supposed to be the either on the basket and or on the branches. I couldn't find it when I got ready to stitch this on this again, and so I just used a Cosmo that I had. I had some Cosmo flosses from Jan Hicks Creates. They had a thread pack for her Thankful, and I picked those up and had some left over. Now this green, I just picked a green out of my DMC stash. So got that finished. And these are on 14 count French lace Aida. I did pull the fabric for October's, which I will stitch at the end of this month. I think that's going to be the last one I can get out of that cloth, and then I don't have any more of that cloth, I don't think. So they don't get displayed together, so it really doesn't matter. You know, they're displayed individually each month, so I'll just switch out to a different fabric. So that's an FO, and then, an FFO. So my FOs are, yesterday I worked on, it was Merry Monday, which was my theme when I was still doing a theme. The Shabby Advent Calendar, and I was working on pattern number 5 or day number 5, and I did get that finished. And let's see, I didn't grab a board before I started, but I know where I can grab one real quick. So this is my finish. So I did decide to use a you know, not red. It called for red, and for the ribbon, and I decided to use sort of a fuchsia kind of color, kind of a berryish, I guess, raspberry. I do have a mistake somewhere in here, and I had to just go over on top of the white with the colored floss right here. And this pattern does have, I'm stitching it on an 18 count. They call it linen. It's Natural Star linen is what Hobby Lobby labeled it, but it's Aida. Anyway, you know, it does have places in the pattern where you have to like split a stitch. So that's not the greatest, you know, fabric to use. But anyway, I'm just glad to have one more day done. So next Monday, I will start on day number 4, and I'll be that much closer to being done with these. Gosh, I'm like ready to be done with this pattern. I love it, but you know, when you've been stitching on something, you know, pretty regularly for such a long time, you know, a couple of years, it just gets old. I'll just real quick show you before I bury it. This is my calendar for September. So the things that I have highlighted are the things that I have gotten done or worked on. I did decide to, right here, I was supposed to work on Jessie Watson, and I decided to work on my Handwork Club piece instead. I just felt like really doing a new month, new start, and so that was going to be a new start, and so I did that. Let's see, let me do, well, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be kind of whips and FOs in this little part of it, because some of these, you know, have multiple projects in them. And one of them is the BBD Weekend Sal pieces that I'm doing. So my first piece was this poinsettia stocking, and this is from Home for the Holidays book. And so I did get the poinsettia finished. I'll show you that in a second. And then I started on the My Heart is Home stocking. So I was able to do that, you know, get that other one finished and get this one started. I got, you know, from here all the way to like the bottom of the house. So all the toe is done. And then now I'm starting on the bottom of the house. So I made a little boo-boo. So after I got done stitching the first one, I was trying to figure out how I was going to you know, how I could get the most use out of this fabric. And so I thought, you know, I would do, you know, the first one's this way, so I would do the next one like this way, and then probably be able to fit 2 of them in that same area where that first stocking was going this way. So I actually started drawing out, drew it in a regular pen, which I shouldn't have. I should have drawn it like in a friction pen, so I could have ironed it out. So anyway, I had to flip it over because it didn't work how I was doing it, and so I had to just flip it over and do it on the other side. But this is the finish of the first one. Love these so much. This is the 32 count fabric that I hand dyed specifically for this project or these projects. So as far as counting my stitches goes on the Shabby Advent Calendar and this as well, I'm just counting stitches across the whole project, across the whole, like all the stockings are just one, you know, one whip on that sheet. And so I'll count, you know, the whole set of stockings in that count. And so that's the start I got on the other one. So I'm kind of using my own. It did call for bandana. I did pull that. And then I think the other ones I didn't have, so I just pulled other ones. This one down here is a Victorian motto. And then on the house is also a Victorian motto. So I got a good bit done, you know, and I really am liking the new routine of focusing just on one piece at a time. Now, yesterday I did stitch on Shabby Advent and the Abc Sal, but I knew that, you know, Mondays I'm trying to get Shabby Advent, plus I want to keep up on these other things, and so that's just how it's going to be on Mondays. So my other FO, I got done with the Abc Sal. I cannot include a picture. There's no picture online. It's just the pattern. But you can get this free on Rainbow Gallery, and I will link it below. But this is the D is for Dandelion and Diamond Ray stitch. And so you can see the grass is the Diamond Ray stitch. It was a fun stitch to do, and I really love the way it looks. But I found out, you know, not fast enough, but, you know, before I got to the end of it, that the way she had the diagram drawn, you know, you could stitch it that way, but it was really, really hard to, find the hole with that floss on top of the hole, basically. And so I kind of just did all but the last stitch of one Diamond Ray, and then went and started the second one, and then came back and did that final stitch so that it wasn't on top of the hole that I needed to go in for the next one. So this is a 28 count Monaco that I have hand dyed. And that's the C and the D. So we had our stitching group Thursday, and I did ask the owner of the shop where we meet her opinion on finishing these into that book, which is, you know, it's supposed to be that, a sampler book. So, you know, she gave me some hints on that, but she also gave me the idea of sashing these with just a little skinny sashing and turning it into a little wall hanging. I like that idea. That I think that, you know, could work. I don't know if that's what I'll end up doing, but I did appreciate that alternative view of what I could do with them. So I did pull my threads for E, letter E, which is E is for elephant and English stitch. And these are the colors that I pulled. It basically called for 2 browns, a green, and 2 grays. So what I did is I decided to do the border and the letters in some different colors because I figured, those are pretty neutral. I could, add some little pops of color. So, and I just pulled my own choices of floss. This floss right here, I started stitching this border last night. This is Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Whispers floss. Can I please get a lifetime supply? Gorgeous. I mean, I just can't even, y'all, with this floss. So, I just couldn't stop. So I just stitched the whole border. It does have a few little, it has like some other little stitches in here, which I will do in purple. All the letters will be done in this pink, which is Classic Colorworks. But look at that floss on that border. I absolutely, absolutely love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so I've allotted myself 3 days to stitch each letter. And so, yesterday I divided my time up with Shabby Advent, but today and tomorrow I will stitch only on this piece. And so I'll be able to kind of see, will it take me 3 days to do these, or, can I get them done in 2? So, like 2 full days, if I move it to where I'm stitching just these, can I get them done in 2 days? So I'm anxious to find that out. So those, like I said, were, FFO slash, not FFO, FO slash whip. So, like I said, I changed the first 2 days of the month. I was supposed to be stitching on Jessie Watson, and I decided to stitch on my little Handwork Club piece, which is this piece right here. This is a club from Scattered Seed Samplers. It comes quarterly, so we should be, I want to say I saw a video with Raspberry Stitcher yesterday, and she's gotten her next one. So I knew it was getting pretty close to the new one coming. So I really wanted to get a good start on this one. So these come with the flosses on this little card, a little charm, the fabric to stitch it on, which is 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And then you also get like backing fabric. So on Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday I stitched on this. And I got a good bit done. So I got, so all of the wording except for the numbers at the bottom, and then started on the nest, and then started on this little bird, probably because I had a piece of thread left. I do have a mistake right here on this E, but by the time I realized I made that mistake, I was way over here working from this direction, and I wasn't going back and frogging it. It was like, it's prim. It, was supposed to look a little quirky, a little homespun. So I love these pieces so much. So I won't be able to do the club again next year, but I sure wish I could. If my husband finally wins his publisher's clearinghouse, then I could, right? Okay, so that's all the stitching that I did since you saw me last. So I did go, I ran into Joanne real quick the other day. I wanted to see, everyone's been talking about them carrying the anchor flosses now. And so I really wanted to see if ours had it, and they did. And so I mainly wanted to try, I want to try their black. Because, everybody says how it's so much better coverage than DMC 310. So I want to try that. And I really wish I would have thought about it a I should have gotten a white because I find white is a really horrible coverage for me with DMC. And so I wonder if that has a difference too. So I'll pick that up later. But this little spool was like 75 cents. And I had a 20% off coupon. And then they had these, I want to say over 40 to 50% off. And so I just picked up these two little fall looking little picks. So hopefully I can use those in some finishing. Okay, so let me just real quick talk about some shout outs and news. So there's a couple of new floss tubers that I've watched over the last week or so. One of them you've probably already heard about them because they're on their 4th video and they already have over 1,000 subscribers. So they've gotten quite a few shout outs, but I love them. They're two sisters, and they call themselves the Bougie Stitchers. They live in Wyoming, and so they're a lot of fun. Go check them out. And everybody will be linked below. There's also the and I remember how to say this when she said it, is the Scandinavian word that it's Hygge, I think, Hygge Stitcher. She's only got one video so far, and she's younger and stitches some really beautiful. She's got some memorabilia stuff and just gorgeous stuff. So definitely go check her out. She's a lot of fun and very enthusiastic about cross stitch and floss tubes, so I loved watching her. I've mentioned Merritt Crawford before. If you don't watch her, go watch her. She has the most beautiful finishes of really anybody that I've watched. I mean, it could just be that I really love that style that she uses, but she just really finishes things just so prettily and so, like especially like little pin keeps and stuff. She just has a really unique, sweet kind of shabby chic look to the way she finishes stuff. Okay, so I also found someone on Instagram, and they have really cute cute cross-stitch designs. I put XS, so I was saying X-stitch. Cute cross-stitch designs, and it's called My Stitch Kits on Instagram. And we also got a little sneak peek from Stitching Book Club of the next piece, which is the next book is The Great Gatsby. Let me see if I can get it pulled up real quick. So, yeah, this was the sneak peek. Go, y'all, I can't wait. I can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. Let me look up this other one that I mentioned, and then I'm going to have to go. So she has really cute, bright, cross-stitch patterns. So I will link her on Instagram below, but I will also link her Etsy shop below. And they're all PDFs. She's in the UK, but they're PDFs, so you can, download them instantly and no shipping. Okay, so I had on my plans that I'd kitted EM, ABC, letter E, but I started already, so you saw it. So that's all I've got. I've got to run and go get to this doctor's appointment. Oh, I wanted to say, they're finally bringing fiber to our neighborhood, fiber internet. And so they called me yesterday to schedule an appointment. So I got the appointment scheduled, and they have different packages that are based on, how many millibytes per second download upload. So we got the very cheapest package at 300 millibytes per second, both upload and download. So, she said, there's no contract. So if you find that's not working for you and need to move up, you can move up. The next level is like 500. So after I got done with that, I went to AT&T's website to kind of investigate, what we have to do to cancel service with them. The appointment's at the end of the month, so, we're not doing it yet, but, just, wanted to know what we needed to do. So I pull up my account and it says your internet plan. And it was internet 12 megabytes per second is what my internet is right now. I was like, this has got to be like a mistake or something. So I'm going to go from 12 to 300. So hopefully I will upload videos a lot faster than I have been in the past. This is a 35-minute video. This will take until tomorrow morning or, during the night before it gets uploaded. So I told my husband, I was like, we're going to be like, the people that used to ride in horse and buggy and then the automobile got invented and they were like, oh my God, it's too fast, slow down, So we're excited about that happening. It seems like there was one other thing that happened that I wanted to mention and now I can't remember. So I don't know what it is. I'll think about, before next video. Maybe I'll remember. So anyway, I've got to run so I can go to this appointment. I appreciate, y'all thoughts and prayers for me. Just don't know what this is gonna reveal. So definitely pray for me. I don't know if I've made a video since. I haven't. I don't think I have. So last video I was talking about my cousin in Louisiana, in Houma, Louisiana. I finally did hear from her. Thankfully, she's okay. Her family's okay, but they did have damage to 75% of their house has damage. So they're, looking at they're looking at a ordeal to get that fixed. So I just wanted to thank everybody that, thought about and prayed for her. So, okay, I really got to go. I love you guys, and I will see you later this week. Thanks. Bye. Everybody. So I'm back just to tag on this little update from the doctor yesterday. I didn't upload my video because, honestly, I was a little overwhelmed when I got home from that appointment. So I apologize for my voice. It's worse than normal, but I got like a post-nasal drip going on, and it made me real hoarse this morning. So following up with the doctor yesterday, the DEXA scan for the bone density showed a possible compression fracture in the thoracic spine. He did say that, sometimes it like overestimates or something. So he sent me to get a thoracic spine X-ray, and that was clear. I mean, it showed arthritis, but there's no compression fracture. So thankfully, I'm not dealing with osteoporosis on top of everything else. So the X-ray of my lower back and sacroiliac joints didn't show any damage. So he mentioned something about non-radiographic axial spondyloarthritis. So, which I think basically just means that it hasn't done any damage to those joints yet. But he does want to get an MRI of that area to check for inflammation in that area in the bone marrow, is what he said. So I'm waiting for that call to do that appointment. I hate doing MRIs. When I had to have one on my foot years ago, and they put me in feet first, and just got my foot, so my head was out of the tube. So maybe they can put me in that way where I'm not feeling so claustrophobic, more toward the opening. or toward the outside world. I don't know if that's possible or not, but anyway, um, he had repeated the urinalysis, which um, had showed last time that I had microscopic blood in urine. So he was rechecking that, and it did still show that. So he was going to, leave it up to my primary care doctor to decide if I needed referral to urology or not, until he asked me if I had a family history of bladder cancer. And if you're, been with me for a little while, you know that my older brother was just diagnosed with that this summer. So, so he's like, yeah, let's just refer you to urology. So I'm waiting to get that call to schedule that appointment, which will probably end up, being undergoing a cystoscope, which I'm not crazy about that. I really would like to see a female urologist, but we don't have any in our area. And so I'm stuck with hopefully the partner in the practice that I've seen the other partner in before, and I hated him. But this guy is new, and I think he's a little younger, so hopefully he has a little bit better, I don't know, bedside manner. I don't know if that's what you would call it. But, you know, I don't know. I guess I don't want to be indelicate, but, a woman knows what it feels like to be touched down there, right? Um, and, when he examined me, it was like, God dang it, you're a little rough. So, so anyway, so I'm thankful that I don't have osteoporosis to worry about on the top of all of this other stuff. But, the autoimmune arthritis and possible bladder cancer, that's plenty. So, to say I'm overwhelmed is like an understatement. So, sorry. Um, so anyway, I wanted to tack this on because I need your prayers. So, hopefully I can get this uploaded today. Um, I'm just kind of, I mean, it's 11:30, and I needed to, I hadn't really let anyone in my extended family know about any of this because I really wasn't ready to. I really was kind of waiting to, get more information. And now I'm still like in the more testing. So I went ahead and wrote to them this morning, and that was, long, extensive email saying everything that's going on since the end of July. Um, but, that's pretty much all I've done today so far. So I'm probably going to turn on some FlossTube in a little while and get some stitching in and just kind of chill. So he did put me on Lyrica to see if that, can alleviate my pain. So I think, and the MRI results may change this, but from what I could understand, there's always a lot of information being thrown, and he had like an internal medicine doctor that was sort of shadowing him. And so I don't know if he did it for his benefit or for mine. I mean, it was good either way, but he kind of like went back over the whole, why I had come to see him and, what we found so far and all of that. But it was just a lot. It's a lot of information. And then when you got all of that, plus, okay, you also have this blood in your urine going on, and you could, have bladder cancer. It's like, you just get to a point where you can't absorb anymore. But what I think the game plan is to, try the Lyrica. If the Lyrica helps the pain, and, we don't have any radiographic evidence of any joint damage at this point, is to just go with that medicine for the pain and wait until, follow up, I don't know, on a regular basis with him
um, to assess for any, obvious um, joint issues like, redness, heat in the joints that would indicate that it's progressing. And then we would move to a biologic, which he said costs $30,000 for 6 months. Who can do that? I mean, I know we have insurance, but we have a $6,000 deductible. So, and I need to go online and check. I think once you get to the 6,000, they pay everything, but I'm not 100% positive on that. So, I need to check that. But anyway, I don't have the energy to worry about that right now. But I think that's the game plan. Like I said, it could change with the MRI results. I'm not sure. Um, so, anyway, that's where everything stands. Just kind of still waiting for more testing. And I'm going to let y'all go and hope you have a good rest of the day. And I'll try to get this uploaded, tacked onto the other one from yesterday, and get it all uploaded. So hopefully I'll see y'all later in the week. Thanks, guys.